we have another contest on Webtoon. So I'm here to read the contest rules and you can just listen to me while you draw, and I hope that way you can save yourself some time. So just this time it's a short story contest, and as you can see, the best stories will win $1,500 and more. So yeah, you will have to watch. There are two categories, there is brain and there is heart. It's easy to understand, the most heartfelt story will win, or the most mind-blowing story will win. We will review these examples in a minute. I have read some of them. The important dates you have to know is the submission. You have to submit between April 30 to June 30. And you are going to be able to browse the submissions on April 30. You know, like you have all that period to see your competition as they submit their stories. And they will announce the winner on July 31. But don't worry, I'm not just reading the screen here. We're going to review the hard terms and conditions because that's boring stuff. Put it simpler to you. As you can see, there is going to be 20 winners, 10 from each category. The cool thing is that one of these 10 and one of these 10 is going to receive $1,500. They're going to be published as an anthology, as in originals, which is what this is, by the way. I'm going to show you in a bit. And you are going to get an animated short. And this is an anthology. That's what they mean. These are stories by many authors. As you can see, the art is different. And this is what you are going to get. I have been reading some of them and they're very cute. Anyway, there are many authors and you're going to be published alongside them. And I think these are previous authors that won in a previous contest like this. So it's cool to know that they have this kind of contest, especially because this is a short story contest. And they have different categories. These are the gold winners, basically, one from each category. Then they have 3 silver winners with these prizes and 6 bronze winners. Now, obviously, the judgment criteria: narrative category, specific attributes, a very good pacing and readability, and a level of audience engagement, basically likes, comments, to see if people care. But it's only 30%, you know, like it's important, but these two are more important anyway. Anyway, if you have doubts on how to make a webtoon in a good way, like to have a very good pacing and readability and clarity, they have this series Creators 101 where they can teach you how to do it, you know. They have videos on how to do this work, and you have basic editing tips, which is the best. This is a webtoon by the Webtoon staff, and they have different things from announcements to editing tips. I honestly think they have these concepts that they are asking you to have in the contest. You don't want to do this, you want to do this. They explain everything over there. And are the contest official rules, which is the boring part, and it also makes clear that you should read all these terms and conditions. But this contest is open to anyone, but you cannot be part of some countries because they are sanctioned by the Office of Foreign Assets Control. So you cannot be from Crimea, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, Syria, Libya, and Somalia. So yeah, and you cannot be directly connected to the company in any way. You cannot be an original creator, nor an employee, contractor, intern, or an immediate family member. I guess because maybe you know some stuff that most people don't know. And you cannot be under 13 years old. And if you are under 18 years old, you do need a guardian or parent legal consent. They have to be able to write it and execute all required paperwork on the entrant's behalf. And you have to do at least 3 episodes of each comic. You cannot do more than 5 episodes. And you have to do at least 30 panels. Remember, you have to do all those 2 categories of heart or brain. Obviously, every episode should be in English. and now it's giving instructions on how to make a webtoon, but you should have JPEG files, with each file being less than 800 pixels wide and 1280 pixels long and under 2 megabytes. And of course you have to make sure you're not doing a fan comic or something that doesn't belong to you. It has to be an original idea. You cannot cheat with this one. So in case you already published it somewhere, you just have to make sure that you hold the copyright, like it's completely yours. Now, you do have some restrictions, including the community policy and uploading guidelines, which is things that make sense. Obviously, you cannot put abusive or hateful content, which doesn't mean that you cannot put bullying, but you have to be careful. Malicious or abusive content or comment towards creators or other users is not allowed. This includes revealing an individual's personal information, like their social security numbers, real name, etc. And of course, hateful content or comment that promotes or encourages violence or has the primary purpose of inciting hate towards individuals or groups based on their gender, age, veteran status, sexual orientation, disability, religion, ethnic origin, race, political orientation. Obviously, that's not allowed. Of course, you can put bullying, and I have seen lots of creators put things like, fatphobic stuff, for example. But that's the villain that's doing it, so be very careful to not leave that as a message, of course. Regarding mature or sexual content, you cannot put naked people or intended to be sexually gratifying is not allowed. This includes but not, Webtoon reserves the right to say what's okay and what's not. You cannot put full graphic depictions of sexual acts. I would say save it. For this contest, I don't think you really need it anyway. In case you want to know, it doesn't have to be sexually gratifying, but you can put people having sex, from what I have seen. For example, in Kind of Love, the anthology of the previous Webtoon winners, and I'm sorry, I'm going to spoil something. If you want to read it right now before I spoil it. In case if what you want to add to the content is okay by Webtoon, you should check previous entries and to see what they have done, because it has been done before. Obviously, they are not really adding anything. If you want to have someone having sex, you can do this, But basically, as you can see, this goes according to the terms of use. It doesn't really contain nudity because you can only see their shoulders anyway. So yeah, and it's a depiction of a sexual act, but it's not graphic. Obviously, you cannot have brutal or extended or graphic acts of violence and depiction of sadism or glorification or promotion of inflicting harm on others. This is a very gray area. There are stories with lots of fights, so that's okay. Just be careful to not overdo it. And of course, you cannot have any form of promotion of self-harm. And obviously, you cannot put unsolicited or unwanted content or links about stuff you want. If you want to have traffic to external websites, that's not okay for them. There are many things that are common sense: copyrights, privacy, publicity, self-harm. You cannot have any of that. At the end of the day, Webtoon reserves the right at any time to verify the validity of entries and to disqualify any entrant who submits an entry that is not in accordance with these official rules or who tampers with the entry process. If you are a creator that wants to sabotage in any way other creators and you report their comics or you leave mean comments or stuff, that's not okay for Webtoon. You have to be a professional person. If Webtoon by any chance doesn't catch you, that doesn't mean that you are okay. So, they are okay by law. In case you want to know how to enter, okay, there are two ways. Number one is you can just hit the button that says publish. You can create a series. It's not the submission period right now, but you can just, in the submission period, you're going to be able to publish your new story, to select the genres, to have your title, your summary, your thumbnail, and you are going to be able to create a series, and I'm sure that in the submission period there's going to be a box over here or something saying like, do you want to enter this for the contest? And you can say yes, I do want to. You can also go to the terms and conditions, well, the official rules of the contest, and you can go to this link in point number 6, how to enter, and you go to this link that says Webtoons to follow the on-screen instructions to submit all your episodes. I'm not going to teach you in this video how to make a webtoon episode, but if you want me to, I can do another video. In any case, there are other videos about that. Some rights, obligations, and warranties. There are some of the things that we have already mentioned. You should hold the copyright of your submission, and it will remain the exclusive property of its creator, so don't worry, it's not like they are going to appropriate your work. But still, by submitting your comic episodes to the contest, the entrant or team of entrants acknowledges and agrees that such episodes may be posted by Webtoon, including but not limited to the Webtoon site and mobile app. And this is amazing. If a submission is selected as a prize-winning work, the entrant will be offered an original series contract with Webtoon, and the entrant or team of entrants will have 15 calendar days to formally accept Webtoon's offer to become an original series as a condition to accepting the bronze prize, silver prize, and grand prize. The entrants will have read and agreed to comply with Webtoon's terms of use. Each individual entrant or team of entrants warrants and agrees as follows. The entry submitted is your original artistic work and does not infringe the copyright or other proprietary rights of any third party. The entry submitted is not prohibited from being submitted into the contest or displayed published through the service due to any third-party agreements or engagements. The entry submitted does not include any material that violates these official rules, and if the entry or any part of the information provided in relation to the entry includes a depiction of a natural person, entrants warrant that they have obtained permission from that individual to use his or her likeness for any and all purposes allowed by Webtoon described herein. So, if you have read all these rules, entrants indemnify and hold Webtoon harmless against all claims and costs by any third party arising from a breach of this warranty. 8. Selection of winners. This is a skill-based contest and chance plays no part in the determination of the winners. Chances of winning depend on the number of eligible entries received. So, as we already said, 1 grand prize, 3 silver prize, and 6 bronze prize winners will be selected from each category. And they have the Webtoon Contest committee to judge. This is something important. Webtoon reserves the right to select fewer than 20 prize winners if, in Webtoon's sole discretion, Webtoon does not receive a sufficient number of eligible and qualified submissions. So, guys, if we don't reach the quality they want, we will not win. So I think this is a very fair stuff because we're learning and failure is part of the process. I have failed a lot in my life, so don't be scared. Try. And if you by any chance don't make the cut, you will have learned something. You can win the next time because you have learned all that stuff. So please don't have fear to fail just because of this rule. If you have a team and you make many entries, because you can have many entries of comics, which is okay, but you can only have one winning entry. You cannot take all the spots for yourself. So what happens if you do not accept the offer to become an original series? For example, you have 5 days after accepting the prize that they will give you a master creator agreement to become an original series. But if you don't answer in time, you take more than 5 days, or you don't answer at all, you will be disqualified, and at Webtoon's discretion they are going to choose another winner from among the remaining qualifying entries. If you cannot receive the prize by any means, you can decline that prize. They see that a potential winner fails to comply with any of the official rules as outlined herein. Such potential winner will be disqualified and an alternate winner may be selected by the panel of judges. Number 10. Each prize winner shall be solely responsible for all federal, national, state, province, and or local taxes. You know, in case I were to receive the money, for example, I would have to make sure to pay the taxes for that. You also are responsible for other fees or costs associated with the prize. Again, if you don't comply, you can be disqualified and another person will be selected to win. Entrant waives the right to assert as a cost of winning a prize any and all cost of verification and redemption or trouble you may have to take a plane to redeem said prize and any liability which might arise from redeeming or seeking to redeem said prize. All international, federal, state, or tax liabilities, including income taxes, arising from this contest, will be the sole responsibility of the winner. Except where prohibited by law, each winner's entry and acceptance of the prize constitutes permission for the Webtoon to use said winner's personal information like name, entry, photograph, likeness, statements, biographical information, voice and city, state, country for promotional or advertising purposes in connection with this contest on a worldwide basis. All entries are subject to verification prior to awarding of prize. And eligibility, age, and claims made by a prize winner also are subject to verification prior to awarding of prizes. So let's say if you are 12 years old and you posted your comic and you won, but you cannot be under 13 years old. So they can check you out after you have already won. And if they see that you are underage, they can still disqualify you after the contest has deemed your entry a winner. Number 11 sounds boring, but it's important, I promise you. Release. By receipt of any prize, winners agree to release and hold harmless Webtoon and their respective subsidiaries, affiliates, suppliers, distributors, advertising, promotion agency, and prize suppliers, and of their respective parent companies, and each such company's officers, directors, etc., from and against any claim or cause of action, including but not limited to personal injury, death, or damage to or loss of property arising out of participation in the contest. Arising out of all participation in the contest or receipt to use or misuse of any prize. Released parties are not responsible for 1. Any incorrect or inaccurate information, whether caused by entrant, printing, typographical, or other errors, or by any of the equipment or programming associated with or utilized in the contest. 2. Technical failures of any kind, including but not limited to malfunctions, interruptions, or disconnections in phone lines or network hardware or software. 3. Unauthorized human intervention in any part of the submission process or the contest. 4. Printing, typographical, technical, etc. human errors. The uploading, the processing, or judging of entries, the computer, the announcement of the prize, or in any contest-related material. Okay, this is the most important. Number 5. Late, lost, undeliverable, damaged, or stolen mail. Too bad. 6. Any injury or damage to persons or property which may be caused directly or indirectly, in whole or in part, from entrants' participation in the contest, or receipt or use or misuse of any prize, including any travel activity related thereto. So basically you are completely responsible for everything. Webtoon only has to say that you are the one that won and give you your prize, but if the prize gets lost, if the email didn't reach you in time, if something happened with your travel, you are responsible. You know, you cannot sue them or anything. Number 12, you have a link at the end with more details about Webtoon's privacy policy, but I think it's kind of obvious. Okay, and number 13 is a lot of legal stuff. You cannot make Webtoon responsible for you hurting your hand if you overdo yourself and do lots of work, and you cannot blame them for anything. It's a very long paragraph because if you want to sue them, they have this to defend themselves. Honestly, you have to be careful, you know, you cannot draw. Yes, you can draw like 12 hours a day, which is okay, but every few days you should rest your hand in some way, and you should be careful with your body, and Webtoon is not responsible, basically. Number 14, they say that in case there are disputes, all disputes, claims, and causes of action arising out or connected with this contest, you have to be by the competent jurisdiction within Los Angeles, California in the United States. Number 15 is the rules and winners list. Oh, here you can submit, by the way. But of course, only on the submission period. I will keep you posted about this contest and check the winners out, and maybe even promote some comic artists that are working in this contest. That could be very cool, honestly. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Check my comics if you want to. And yes, thank you for watching. And yes, I will see you in my next video. Bye!